Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your presence here and welcome to our last Tree of Life class of 2014. Let's take a deep breath and let us enter into meditation and invocation, opening the way for beloved Mother Akasha and Lord the Sun to be with us this evening. As we close our eyelids and begin a gentle journey of turning within, let us consciously place in the hands of our presence all that we have been addressing today. And as we journey inwards into our hearts, we offer loving adoration and acceptance of the great love flame within our hearts. That flame belongs to our mighty I Am Christ presence. And yet it is given to be under our direction. And we honor the great intelligence of divine consciousness that abides within our heart flame. As it responds to our call, O mighty flame of life, within our hearts expand, rise, and release waves of love back up to our great God presence, completing the circle of life. And as you expand, we call upon you to release your sacred fire, love, purity, and power throughout the substance of our physical garments, our mind, our feelings out of life. And we thank you. And as the flame of life expands throughout our being, we call to our mighty I Am Christ presence, and to the great masters of the sacred flames of God, to blaze, blaze, blaze a mighty pillar of resurrection flames in, through, and around us. Beloved Saint Germain and his angels and his violet purifying flames, Mother Akasha and her angels and her rose-pink flames of divine love, Master Jesus and his angels and his golden flames of all Christ illumination, and as the masters and their angels respond to our call, we call to our own higher discerning intelligence to perfectly blend those resurrection flames, forming a mighty pillar in, through, and around us. That sacred fire that releases the greater purity, love, and illumination directly into the substance of our minds, our bodies, our feelings. And as we heard recently, we are invited now to include the great goddesses of peace, purity, and harmony. And while we abide in the mighty resurrection flames, we call upon the goddesses of purity, peace, and harmony to project their own heart flames of Ascended Master Purity, Ascended Master Peace, and Ascended Master Harmony throughout our earthly embodiment, mind, body, and feelings. And we love and bless them for this service. We call upon our own higher discerning intelligence, our mighty Christ self, to blaze the inner essence of its cosmic light substance upon the very substance of our minds, bodies, and feelings. We call to the great ascended host to blaze their sacred fire feelings that are the absolute perfect control of manifestation into our mental, physical, and feeling side of life, We thank them. We are so grateful that our knowledge of the sacred fire increases. We are so grateful that Ascended Master gifts of variations and qualities and powers of the sacred fire are given to us in Mother Akasha's classes. And may these days of great preparation yield such transformation in our minds, our feelings, and raise our physical bodies in becoming temples for the incoming Christ presence. We are so grateful and we are so blessed. And mighty I am, great Christ and rose presence of our life on earth, we call to you the ascended angelic host for the greater protection you offer into our lives. Enfold us now in your mighty magic tube of cosmic light substance, a shield of light drawn down and around us and below us that makes us invisible to the discord that yet exists in the outer world. An armor of light that makes us more sensitive to the golden voice of God that speaks to our heart each day. We thank you. Beloved Archangel Michael, we call to you and your legions of angels, and as you have offered, we call upon you to continue to sustain and maintain a wall of cosmic Christ blue flames outside of our tube of light as added protection until we are free in our resurrection, our service, and ascension. And we call upon the great cosmic beings of light, great cosmic beings who have served our beloved planet, Goddess of Venus, the Queen of Light, Lord Maitreya, the mighty Victory, Lord Melchizedek, and many others. And as they have taught us and offered to us, we call upon the great cosmic beings of the ascended host, our spiritual hierarchy, to enfold us, our lives, our homes, our loved ones, the personal and business activities of our lives, and all means of transportation in their ascended master walls of invisibility, invincibility, and vulnerability over all that is of human creation, human law, and the sinister force. That each of us may go forth in our resurrection untouched by any discord or destruction in the outer world. And we are so grateful and blessed. Deep breath. And mighty I am, we turn again to the inner activity of thy great God flames that are growing within our physical garments. We call upon your love flame within our heart to expand and blend with the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power, and its golden sun's presence within the chest cavity. We call upon those flames now to rise up through us and become one, blending with the sevenfold flames of the seven mighty Elohim of creation within the brow of our brain structure, compelling those flames to release great electronic substance deep within our brain, that the incoming Christ has full access to a fully active brain that is lit with the powers of creation. And we are so grateful and blessed. And into our gathering and into the homes of all those who consciously turn towards the light, We welcome the presence of angels. We love and bless the angels. We accept their reality and their great service that they offer us. Guardian angels, healing angels, angels of the sacred fire, the cherubim, the seraphim, the angels of the music of the higher spheres, and the great central sun's angels of the immortal flames of cosmic Christ love. Come, blessed angels, as we command our minds, bodies, and feelings, open and receive the great outpouring of the angels' blessings, of their own heart flames upon our lives. We love and bless them so. And moments now before Mother Akasha greets us, she invites us to hold a higher vision for friends, family, and loved ones. Please bring into your mind now the names or images of friends, family, and loved ones. Hold them in your mind. Hold your attention upon them. And together with students around the world, let us call forth continuously unfolding, miracle-making moments into the lives of all our loved ones. We acknowledge and honor the great God presence that abides within them. We welcome and invite the ascended and angelic host to touch their lives in such a way that brings forth their own great God healing and awakening and the fulfillment of their lives on earth. Once again, we are holding a miracle mantle, a dispensation offered by Mother Akasha of continuously unfolding, miracle-making moments into the lives of our loved ones. And we are so grateful to be given this opportunity. Deep breath. And beloved rose hearts, beloved students of life, thou hast made covenants, choices, that the very life that has commanded you forth into these embodiments must fulfill. I decree for each of you a holy, a sacred, a silent, and yet joyful sounds of Christmas, of Christ's Mass to you this year. Such a joyous Noel. And I decree that every heartbeat of 2015 releases by the power of love a bounty of life, of light, of love, and all God's great riches and manifestations manifest every heartbeat of your life through 2015. May 2015 become for each of you the greatest climb of your life. Climbing and soaring to a new plateau. A plateau of consciousness, of life, of living life, giving life, experiencing life, receiving life, in which, heartbeat by heartbeat, you come to a new plane of existence, of 3 steps forward and never turning back, and almost feeling, even though you are so well balanced in your lives, or using perhaps more common terminology, so well grounded in your earthly embodiments, and yet these moments, by the power of love, offers each of you that it seems your feet are no longer even touching the ground. Such weightlessness upon you. The power of love, giving each of you whole new sensations, long forgotten. Sensations of life, unbridled, ever expansive, and yet so centered in your being. 2015, each of you, by command of the great central sun, and by the great magnet's presence that is growing so strong within your hearts, is a magnetic presence that just lifts you and lifts you through such vital, magnificent initiations. Not initiations of strife, yet initiations that show you so clearly that everything that you thought about love, perceived about love, was yet only a fraction. And all that I spoke into a few Wednesdays ago, to bring about a cosmic student body initiation, where love and the power of love offers to each of you such illuminating comprehension that beyond all veils that have caused suffrage, that have caused limitation, so many of those veils have been torn down. And so often you have discovered what you thought were causes behind experiences suffering, and limitation, only to find there's another veil, and that there's a deeper cause. And once faced, you find that there's another veil, and there's a deeper cause. And as 2015, by the power of love, by the power of will, initiated by each of you, may we pierce the final veil. The final veil. And may we get this done by April 2015. A veil that illumines the cause of all causes, of everything that brings failure and sufferance and the absence of continuous victory. May each one come to understand the awareness of what is behind that final curtain. What we may have even perceived was not possible. That our healing and enough pleasantries of life would suggest that such a thing is not even possible, and yet will be intimately revealed to each of you. Oh, not through sorrowful suffering, not through sorrowful suffering, not this time. Through initiation of illumination, in which there is such intimate, deep, comprehending awareness. It bursts from a depth of your soul that can only be initiated from the great central sun, the power of the mother's presence that reveals the final cause of all suffering, the cause of the fall from grace. It is a battle that we thought was over and healed perhaps lifetimes ago. It is the very battle with that aspect of life that conceives to fulfill a beautiful mind. A battle with the greatest power of all, the power of love. I wish every student had the opportunity. All classes are important, and yet in some classes there is a way that I or others will express, and we hope that you have a feeling that after you listen to that discourse, that there's a feeling that comes up in you that says, let me go back and listen to that again, because it is stirring something within me. And so I shall decree that every student will be given the opportunity to hear the all so important miracle class that took place yesterday. And you can add that miracle class to the conversation that I began about 3 Wednesdays ago about coming face to face with the greatest love of the universe, and watch how it must shift instantly your path of resurrection to joys that you have not even conceived possible, to ideas that you have not even yet conceived possible, because without that full power of love inside the mind, caressing and being a magnet, drawing the Christ mind of all illumination into your awareness, how could you, without that, how could you possibly have that conception? May every student be given the opportunity to hear that miracle class, and may each of you assign to your notes that these are days of great increase upon you. These are days in which limitation, as you have known it, as you have remembered it, that limitation and all that offends life shall decrease. May you mark your calendars regarding the things that I spoke on Sunday in the miracle class, and all that Mother Mary will be entering into. Do you remember the dates that she will enter the great central sun? January 7th. And do you remember the date that she is intended to be complete? April and 28th. And so you have that. And I will simply say, she will be granted the full power and authority of my office in the great central sun. She will be granted the full flames of creation, of the mother side of life. She will meditate deeply. She will go back to times when she came to the earth. She will meditate and observe from the central sun when Jesus came to her and all that unfolded. And then she is going to observe your lives. And the 3,000 years that you have heard me suggest that you have been awakening. You've been living embodiments, preparing you for this time. And she will observe all of this. And during this observation and in these months, no thought will enter Mother Mary's mind. For nothing must stand an obstacle to the great knowing that Mother Mary has been authorized. Whom could this right be given to? As mother of Jesus who became Christ. Who has a greater authority than her from your world? None. And as stated in the miracle class, none can decrease the days of that which is given in the soulful knowing of the mother's presence. Behold the words of Solomon unto each of you, and the old language and signs are given. Psalms are written, Proverbs are revealed. There are days in which certain things will decrease. This means they will fall away and be no more. There will be days in which other activities increase. And all that is the power of love fulfilling. And I will just finish this little part by reminding you that when Mother Mary enters this holy of holy places in the great, great silence of the great central sun, she will know for each one of you the very same thing she knew when her baby son, Jesus, was born. And only 2 hours old, Mary said to Joseph, "The Christ is in him. The Christ is inside our baby son. He is quiet. He is still. And he is watching." And Mother Mary shall know the same for each of you. We reach a place, a time in your path. Perhaps I have said to you that there have been moments of change, moments of intervention, moments of efforts where I have said there's no turning back. And I will say it again. Once Mother Mary is complete, there really is no turning back. And what I suggest by that is that even if you tried to turn back, your own life would see to it that that is the most temporary thing you've ever done. And so we complete this year with each of you and begin the new year in the greatest voyage. A voyage that has been termed in the past the journey home, the path of awakening. This is a voyage of the soul. It is a voyage that prepares you for the greatest power of love. It is a voyage that is to guide you directly to the door to everything, revealing before your arrival that what is beyond that door to everything is the full power of love. And instantly as it is touched, you will know that you have in the past only used a fraction of your consciousness, of your mind. That love, the power of that love will reveal illumination, discernment. Never again in your life could there be moments of would've, should've, could've. Hindsight will be gone for eternity. The power of love giving discernment and illumination and enlightenment to everything you touch, to everything that comes to you. A power of love that shows you how love can express. How even ideas of unconditional love, which is suggested to be love given without condition. The cosmic love of your soul. Each of you, and it is rightfully so, because if you do not have the light to guide you to find the greatest power in all, you will never come to know the greatest power of all. So rightly so, each of you have come to love the Christ, the beautiful mind of God. And so prepare yourself that your earthly embodiment becomes the vessel for the Christ of your being to come forth. And rightly so, you have grown in love of this state of being. Yet that light of the Christ is to lead you to what is the power that fulfills the actions of the Christ. The greatest power in the universe, the soul. And today you understand that the soul is the sacred womb of the mother's presence that offers love as constant birth and birth and birth and birth and birth for infinity, eternity throughout the universe. As quickly as the mind can conceive. Yet even without that love, the mind is limited in how much it can conceive. Increase the love, the power of love, the love that comes from beyond the door to everything, the love that comes from your soul. Increase that love, and then increase, you will find thoughts, ideas that almost shock you to your senses, and like Scrooge, who wakens up, is just so filled of giggles and laughter and bubbles that you are just shocked that ideas so brilliant are flowing into your mind, waiting for you to seize. Which one shall I act upon? Oh, this one today and this one tomorrow, because time is changed. Love does everything. And thousands of literaturists have written thousands of essays of what they consider is love. And this is one droplet in the great oceanic, soulful power of love. And so temptation rises. If this be so, which came first, the mind or the soul? I can assure you, the debate between the masculine and the masculine and feminine principle of this universe, that debate continues. Love. This Christmas and into the new year, I encourage you to invite love, the power of love, from myself, the goddesses, those glorious ascended beings who happen to be in feminine garments. How much love can you handle? You will soon find out that in your present state of beingness, the amount of love that you can handle maybe equals 1 true % of the greater love that is waiting. What is the power that conceives ideas of healing? What is the power that makes healing possible? What is the power that is the force that creates a healing? What is the power that births a holy flame, violet, blue, or pink? What is the power that is behind the ability to express? To express. What a gift to express yourself. What a gift of consciousness. What is the power behind expression. And how can the expression of love, but the power and glory and grace of love, increase in each of you, so that each of you in these days that shall unfold, you resurrect into such a state of loving life. And your love of life, it is tangible. And everything you touch spreads your love of life and sets life free. What beautiful preparations will come through in class and into the individual lives of each of you. Again, these preparations, these initiations, not lessons, not sorrowful sufferings, no, joyful moments of illumination. And even moments where you might say to yourself, I must confess, I didn't know I had the ability to express this much love. And how that love can bring instant understanding. Do you have instant understanding presently in things that are brought to your attention? Do you have instant understanding to things that go well? Do you have instant understanding to things that don't go as well as you hoped they would? Do you have instant understanding of the people who cooperate with you? Do you have instant understanding to the people who refuse to cooperate with you? Love will give you that. Love gives you everything if that love comes from the soul. And to open that door to the soul, then you must face, yet before you face, your increase in preparations must be at hand to face that kind of love. And to face the reality that the final sinkhole, the final cause, that which stands beyond separation, that which stands beyond the foul smell of the altered ego, specialness, that which is even beyond that, is the oldest battle. And it has played itself out in every single embodiment you have lived since the fall from grace. Some embodiments, that battle with love, nothing more than perhaps an inconvenient force that seemed to be working against you. In other embodiments, that battle with love, a tendency to wrestle with everything. It has had increase and decrease, depending upon your effort, your desire to be free of the chains that have bound everything that is the truth of each of you. Let not that day of 28 and April pass that each of you have not faced and realized the last enemy beyond fear beyond the altered ego. The last enemy is what created fear. What created the altered ego? What created the sense of separation? What created the food that the alter ego must feed on if it is to survive? Specialness. We are going over the mountain of human creation, that each of you may find yourselves as real spiritual unascended beings who are well back on track to your ascension through the resurrection and your service to life. It is the hidden battle. It is the cause beyond all causes of sorrowful sufferings. It is the thing that stands when you have shook your head and just cannot understand. Because that battle with love is supposed to be a guarantee that understanding and comprehension is not given. That battle with love is a battle that smears your life with self-condemnation. And Mother Mary shall know in the silence of the central sun those months. She will know the truth that the Christ in you waits to speak. But this cannot be spoken to you. It must be spoken inside you. Why hast thou condemned thyself? If you ask me to forgive you, then I must see that you have condemned yourself. And I, the Christ, must convince you that I have never condemned you. I do not withhold forgiveness. If it will make you feel better, forgive yourself for having condemned yourself. Condemnation. It's that battle. This student body, by the decree of the Mother's presence, I, Akasha, from the great central sun, have given the command that this battle will be over. Never to touch you again. And in those days, as spring bloom makes way in May, how we love the month of May, and shall increase in each of you the feeling of love. Your love, number one, of the emerging Christ. And you thought you were looking for relationship. And comes the deepest awareness that what you craved the most was to feel the Christ, see the Christ, hear the Christ deep inside you say to you, I see what you have done to yourself. I am willing to see this only for a moment, that I may know how you have condemned yourself, and then as I ascertain how you have condemned yourself, I will offer you a holy instant. And this holy instant is the atonement that today is lost in holy Catholicism. The atonement. You are innocent. You cannot be forgiven because you are not condemned. to be forgiven. These are soaring moments. You shall find your wings in 2015. No burden shall touch your lives as these days increase into June and July in 2015. No suffering, no weightedness. Your love of the cross, not something to drag upon your shoulders, something to hold within the holy golden sun's presence that fills you with the light of the Christ. And what grows in each of you is a desire to increase the Christ in you. You are in right relationship. When doth that moment arise in your life, when you can hear and comprehend the words of the prophet, the words of the Jesus Christ? Why do you toil? Why do you worry about things in your life? Take no thought for your life, for everything is given. The kingdom of God is within you. And revelation after revelation, you have found it, you have touched it, you have tapped into it. You are drinking the fountain of life. You are now safe. You are returned to the Father's house. You are returned to the Mother's house. You are now the safest, the soundest, and most secure, creative thinker in the world. Your thoughts are safe. And people will sense that. People will feel that. You will find that the human decreases in you. You will find for there will be a short bridge of time to really test the reality. Is this happening? Can I hardly pinch myself? Is this happening? Can I make myself remember such a short time ago I was very capable? If I allowed myself, I was very capable of having a destructive or limiting thought. Am I capable of doing that now? And as this understanding increases in you, you will find decreasing in you that just the idea of having a negative or discordant or destructive or limiting thought or speech or emotion, that is decreased in you. Laughter will demand a valley in each of you, a time. And you will know that is time to surround yourselves with spiritual brothers and sisters and friends and family that will understand the laughter, the joy that is coming out from you. And they will not question if you are stoned because you are laughing so constantly in this great rise to love. Are you ready, precious hearts? Enjoy this journey. Enjoy playing chess. A fine game of chess each day with the powers of divine love. What pieces shall I move today? Today, upon my chessboard, I shall seek that my movements for the next 7 to 8 hours, no discordant thought, word, or emotion shall find expression in me for these next 8 hours. Mind your timepieces. What a great time of observing. And what did the great master speak in the alchemy class? The necessity for each of you to demonstrate your ability to govern your feelings. Be kind, for the love that waits for each of you to increase is a love that informs you. You are not asked to be pure in every instant of your beingness in this moment. What you are asked, what you are invited, is to take so gentle care of yourself that only the most purest thought, only the most purest emotion, only the most purest words find expression from you. And if you seek this, life will be generous in offering you the days and weeks to complete the purification of what might remain. There is an experience that you have delayed in your life. Thinking without discernment that you had to say everything. As the Master said on Sunday, thinking you had to say everything that came to your mind, not allowing wisdom to prevail, and check yourselves and say, that thought that I just had, it's best I don't speak it. Discernment. You see, loving yourself enough in this preparation days invites you to be aware. How objective can you be? How strong, how courageous, how bigger than life can you be to allow yourself to feel something discordant? To even be aware that a negative thought just crossed your mind. And as you seek to self-govern what comes out from you, you are aware of that impure thought or emotion. You know this is not from today. You know this is from something in the past. But it has come up. You can feel it. It begs expression. Now it is initiation time. Will you express that negative or limiting or discordant or even destructive thought, word, or emotion? Will you express it? Or realize that is initiation, that you have created a sacred space for something to come up that days ago may have been so latent, so deep, and so hidden over. Today, your love, enough love, has brought about an awakening for you to be aware. Oh my goodness. I am temporarily shocked by the thought I just had. I am temporarily shocked by the emotion that tried to come up. Expression is so important. Curbing the expression of discordant thoughts, words, and emotions invites a sacred space in you that reserves a holy place in which expression is given to the purpose of love seeking to fulfill itself. Therefore, I shall curb expression of anything of a limited nature that tries to come up in me. Rise, come up. You will find that I have taped my mouth over. I have bound my hands in tape. Now pass from me, leave me, go into the sacred fire and be no more. For what waits to seek and increase and give expression is love. Love. This is the journey before each of you. And as your ship sails into these new waters, new spring waters that bring forth such waves of lightness, lifeness, youthness, beingness, birth and rebirth in each of you. Now, a resounding awareness of why you as a spiritual being, God in training, was given this training ground. Third dimension, planet Earth, the opportunity for experience. Love is actionable. Now, the world waits for this to transform into experiences. Love, experiences, and all that must follow is endless moments of the most colorful victory that you can imagine. Your resurrection is complete. Now, you are a God Master. We have work to do in this world, much to heal. Kingdoms that share life with you upon this planet that suffer so greatly. The animal kingdom, they suffer so greatly. The kingdom of great sea creatures suffering from poisons that have entered the water element. Technologies invented that ought never have been invented, used by military and naval ships, sending destructive signals through waters that are harming great whales and dolphins. Just an example. The world waits. The coming of Christ is the coming of a great light. Yet what is beyond that is what the light of the Christ uses to heal this world. It is the greatest power. It is the power of love. Each of you have entered through various varied experiences in the outer world. Every single one has been an initiation, a strengthening. It is impossible to face, to observe what is the final battle, the battle with love, without the mother's presence, holding you, supporting you. The Christ has long sought to whisper unto each of you, why do you see yourself as the way you do? Why do you condemn yourself? I do not condemn you. And so as the Christ has these long-standing messages for each of you, might you consider what the soul waits to communicate to each of you. The Christ, the beautiful mind of God the Father, individualized as your potential. The soul, the most beautiful heart of the Mother, individualized as your potential. Your potential calls to you. And only by the grace of love increasing will each of you come to that day, and that day is not far off, when you yourselves will shake your head, as you are given a small amount of time to reflect on all days that have delivered you to these joyful moments. You will shake your head at all the things that sought to throw you off balance, all the things that created chaos and struggle. You will shake your head and laugh at yourself. And you will know it was all worth it. May each of you use the authority of your own I am God love. And may each of you welcome of life those joyful tidbit, because they must be, until you are able to see what that last battle was. And when seeing it, you will not face it in terms of being overcome by it. No, no, no. You will stand and behold it, see it for what it is, and you will realize that in that moment you are being loved and held by the greatest source of that love, the Mother's presence. The Christ seeks that you be complete. The soul seeks you be complete as well. Only one question will remain. As each of you in your own personal initiation will see that the final battle you have ever fought is this long-standing battle with love. There is but one question, and there is but one answer. And the moment you give that answer, so be it, and it is done. The question has always been the same. In regards to seeing everything for what it is, everything in the outer world will seek to defy everything of the soul. And when you see this has been a long-standing battle with love, your soul will ask you, do you wish this to be over? And there is only one answer. And the moment you answer in the affirmative, by grace, because that's the action of the Mother's love, it is undone, as if it had never been. And now, all that made Solomon rich with wisdom and love that gave resurrection to a temple and a community of peoples so separated, united under Solomon. This is just a touch of what will renew in each of you. Beloved rose hearts, may the greatest blessings of love be upon each of you. Might you inquire of your Christ being, the true meaning of Mass, far beyond a priest who waves a basket of smoke. But the understanding of Mass. Mass is the true love of atonement that sets aside the condemnation, the separation. Mass is the love of the Christ. Christ Mass. Christ love. The original intent given in Catholicism more than 2,000 years ago, yet not practiced by any churches of the land. Merry Christmas and a joyous Noel. We begin in 2015, the next journey. It is the greatest journey, the journey of love. And love will love you so much, and it will give you an ample platform of experience. And by the fulfillment of those experiences, you will come to know why there is such a being and how important in our universe that there be such a being as Mighty Victory, who has never known anything but victory in countless generations of time. Only the greatest power in the universe can produce that kind of victory. The power of love. I, Akasha, hold you and the soulful heart of the great central sun. You will never be lost again. I love each of you, and I thank you for finding your way to the most sacred of all mountains, the mountain of the soul. It is time to make our way into that sacred mountain, the journey of love. I thank you. We love you, Mother Akasha. We are so grateful we have found you. May you enfold us and hold us and surround us with the love of your heart flame, with your love of the central sun that prepares each of us in these upcoming months. We are so grateful. Deep breath. My goodness.